Hello, and welcome to the Thorogood Associates video on forecasting using R integration in Tableau 8.1. My name is Mare Newton, and I am a business intelligence consultant with Thorogood Associates. Thorogood is a strategic alliance partner with Tableau. The release of Tableau 8.1 included enhancements to Tableau's native forecasting capability, as well as the ability to connect Tableau with R for more complex forecast analysis. Today, we will look at how you can leverage R in order to build and analyze more complex forecasting models. For information on getting started with R, or for examples of other use cases, please check out the other videos in this series. In this video, I will demonstrate the native forecasting capability available in Tableau 8.1. I will show you how you can leverage R for more complex forecast modeling, and I will demonstrate how you can break down your model to gain deeper insight into trends and seasonality. In the Tableau workbook that I have opened up, I have connected to Tableau's Superstore sample data that came with my Tableau installation, and I've opened up a new worksheet. I want to forecast my data by month, so the first thing that I will do is pull order date onto my columns and then right-click and select month year. I will be forecasting sales, so I'll just pull sales right over to my rows so that I can see my sales over time. To add in Tableau's native forecasting, I can right-click, select Forecast in the drop-down menu, and then click on Show Forecast. The first forecast that appears seems to be showing me sort of a straight average moving forward, but this doesn't give me any trending or seasonality. So to adjust my forecast, I can go back into my forecast menu and I can select forecast options. Instead of using the automatic forecast model, I can change to the custom setting. From here, I can choose to include trending, seasonality, or both, and I can utilize either an additive or a multiplicative model. For this data set, I'm actually going to use an additive model for both. I can also select a confidence interval to show the shading around my forecast line. And I have 95%, which seems fine for now, so I'll click OK. This native capability is useful for basic forecasting, but R can be used for leveraging alternative models or for including additional complexity into your forecasting. The forecast package in R contains a number of useful forecasting functions, including forecasting models, forecast accuracy testing, and missing value interpolation. The forecast that I'm going to demonstrate today is a time series model with seasonal decomposition. To show you this, I'll move over to a new tab. Now, just as I did on the prior tab, I'm going to start by pulling order date onto my columns, and I'll select month year. Then I'll pull total sales onto my rows, and I'll also pull sales forecast over to my rows. Now this sales forecast measure contains the forecast model that I'm passing back to R. In order to see these together within one plot, I'm actually going to make this dual axis, and then I'll synchronize my axes so that everything's shown using the same scale. Now this gives me a similar result to what I saw with Tableau's native forecasting, but I have the flexibility here to utilize my own model. Now, I can also go a step further and break out different components of this forecast. Just like we saw within the Tableau native model, forecasts can contain both trending and seasonality components. Using R, I can actually separate these out to gain deeper insight into my data. So I created a calculation that isolates the trending component of my forecast, and I'll pull that over onto my forecast axis of my chart right now. I'm going to synchronize my axes again. And now you can see that this trend is showing a smooth curve that's based on my actual and forecasted sales numbers. Trends like this can be extremely useful for setting more consistent target values throughout a year. Now, I've also isolated the seasonality component of my sales in this sales seasonality calculation that I have in my measures window. I'll also pull this into my chart as a separate measure on my rows. I've specified in my calculation that I'm forecasting by month and that there are 12 months in a year. So you'll see, as this forecast comes up, that it repeats every 12 months, highlighting where my overall forecast is pushed higher or lower than expected due to the seasonality in my data. I see from this that spring tends to be my slowest time of year, whereas my high season seems to be in the fall and winter months. Even with these more complex forecast models, I can continue to use basic Tableau functionality to gain additional insight. I can pull seasonality out of my chart, and I can focus on my forecast values alone. I can then bring in other fields, like region, onto my rows to see a separate forecast for each of my regions. I could also bring on something like product category instead of region and see a forecast for each of my product categories. I can leverage R here for the complex statistical forecasting and modeling that I need, while still creating impactful visualizations in Tableau's drag and drop interface. That concludes this demonstration on forecasting in Tableau using R. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at mayor.newton@thorogood.com. You can also visit our website at www.thorogood.com for more information about our company, our services, or our upcoming marketing events.